Ladies and gentlemen, look at us two. And Arthur. Welcome, guys, to Dev Stream number 12 today.
Hello, everyone.
As you can see, we've got a completely empty plot where I've done some pre-planning and already found a new bug, so... Good evening, I guess.
You're not supposed to tell them that.
They probably already found it too. Anyway,
Yeah.
We will be doing some nice casino building tonight. I thought, let's start a new one. We've learned some stuff from the old one, and I completely failed in the old one, and we were at 600k in the minus. So let's see if we can do some more sensible stuff in this one. I already see a bunch of people writing hi, so just gonna say hi back. Peter's here, Colby Pub, TX Boxy, Jake and Mod are also here. Happy to see you all.
It's been a while since we've done a live stream.
Yeah, roughly 3 months
Good to
now.
be back. Has it been that long?
Arthur should
People
not.
just been busy with books and fixing stuff.
Arthur should have known not to wear green on live stream today. Yeah, he's completely green today. Just for you guys, it's Arthur's birthday today. So once he's back, be sure to say hello to him and wish him a great birthday. He just couldn't get out of bed fast enough, so and we just said fuck it, we start ourselves.
That's when I forgot it was his birthday.
But yeah, I guess on his birthday we can allow some being late. Some more people, hello tips, and on Twitch we've got way too cool. Lovely to see you all. Michael, how about you? Just whatever you want to talk about in terms of features we've added in the last 3 months.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna have to figure out when. There's so many updates.
Yeah.
Let's see.
You just take
So
a look.
was it like early July or something?
Roughly, yeah. So I'm not even sure what big things we added. I know the dance floor is new.
Yeah, I'm gonna find the oldest announcement with a live stream and then start from there. Okay, I think I found it,
Hopefully.
but there's a lot to go through.
Well, start with the hold it on the big picture. So just.
Yeah, well, even that's gonna take a while to go through.
Well, then go ahead.
And we've added everything from new textures, new fences, linked jackpots. Apparently, that was added since the last live stream. That feels like ages ago now.
Indeed.
Pizza buffets. Obviously, improvements to price satisfaction. Apparently, we did some visual improvements. New UI styles. Yeah, so before the last live stream, I think we still had the old like gold UI sort of thing, and now it's all like a bit more clean and flat looking. Again, it feels like ages ago since we changed that. And even things like more optimal build menu layout. Loads of build tool improvements. I mean, this, if anyone's interested in following along, go back to July 9th, 2021, and then scroll along through that, because there's a whole bunch of improvements to guests getting hungry quicker, because we had a lot of feedback about that. Oh yeah, updated dismantle tool, which Josh found a bug for earlier today. Yeah, being able to start choosing custom, pre-built casinos. New table booster buffets, improved guests, mod support, that was probably the biggest one. And then obviously VIP celebrities, conventions, modded textures, modded code, different floor colours. Hot fixes, more hot fixes, so many bugs as well. For every feature there's usually a couple of bugs at least.
I just noticed.
Part of the fun.
I've also got a couple of mods loaded just from whenever I tested them out. So a couple of line pack, for example, by Chick. I think I've also got I've got the test object. So if anyone wants to see, this was the first object. didn't really work great, but it worked. And basically what we started off with coding.
It's amazing actually how many things are on the workshop. I'll have to go through it and highlight some good ones in a bit. Yeah, loads of AI bugs, UI bugs, fixes, loads of changes to how the needs work, and again, more improvements to food and alcohol and frustration. Some improvements to theatres, things like dressing room ratings and different effects of each of them. Apparently it works on bladder sensitivity, loads of exciting stuff like that. Oh yeah, big security improvements, interrogation rooms. Guards call for backup if the health is low, they can now heal themselves in the security zone. More realistic staff wages. Loads of UI tweaks. Loads more fixes along the way. It's honestly taken me ages just to read through it, just to skim and find all the major improvements, because there's so many.
In the meantime, Way Too Good said bugs tend to only bring more bugs. Yes, we can confirm. Like fixing one bug, you break the 3 other things. And apparently we've done a good job on fixing them. I definitely hope so.
I think we're getting pretty close to the end of the list now. And it's just a case of if any new ones come in.
Mike, a question for you, by the way.
Yeah.
Did anything screw up with the bingo mechanic in the last update?
In the last update, what specifically? Like too many using it, or?
No, apparently Calby Pub just has the issue that they are losing too much money.
Like making too much money?
No, probably losing.
Oh, that's weird, because everyone else has been saying that bingo makes way too much money. So it depends what settings they've got and if they've got the price too high or something. But yeah, I can't say unless it's like a save specific issue. But yeah, do upload your save and we'll take a look.
So one-time save to Steam, please. Or use the integrated upload thingy. And then post it on Steam.
And just looking through this, so we got... Oh yeah, fix where like desks which serve people were running too slowly, so now they run much faster. Possibly a fix to the Vault truck not arriving. I haven't seen that reported recently, but I also can't confirm it's completely fixed because apparently it was random when it happened. And then scrolling through this, even more AI need improvements.
By the way, on the bingo topic, 2 people on 2 different platforms just wrote basically no problem with bingo. So yeah, probably either something setting based or...
And then yeah, some ATMs and cashier security improvements. I mean, currently on Edge, so it hasn't come out to default yet, but literally just came out the last 15 minutes. We have guest queuing in lines, which Joshua works on today. Don't think we can share that because I doubt our version's updated to it, but...
No, I'm using the latest default.
Yeah. More frequent sports events, and also basically trying to push more people into sports when there is an event. And then a bunch of changes to trash, basically just to increase how much trash there is, because we thought it'd be a bit more interesting. Currently it's a bit too easy to handle. And then I'll see a bunch of the bug fixes as well.
By the way, if you want to look at how the new queue lines work, or you you can always check out the Discord. I've posted some pictures of random queues, how people queue up last night. And if you are interested in how it works technically, there's also some debug visual there. Really, really interesting to see how they basically form up. If you'd like to know more on how they work, you can just always or ask me for the night. I will share some details on it with you. Because it's actually a really interesting algorithm or really interesting problem having not generic, but organic queues in the space just wherever people have to queue up.
It's amazing how it takes something that looks kind of not just ugly but really cheap before, and suddenly the game looks a lot more expensive.
Yes, let's start first. So many people said it's probably the best idea to have slots like in front of the car. So people always have to move through the slots. And table games too. In the attractions. I'm probably going to do that here. So I will probably set up some cashier cages to the right and left. So I'm gonna leave some space over.
Just in front of the door, are you missing some squares?
No, just really dark.
Oh no, it's just a shadow, yeah. It was getting my LCD then, but it's just a shadow.
Yeah, it was. I was the same like 3 times until I finally realized it's shadow. Any wood texture? Just gonna
Do you
designate.
have a limited budget?
Yeah, I've still got 3.8 million left, so I don't think it's gonna run dry that fast. Come on. By the way, since I'm placing these, I don't know, what do you call them even?
Yes, fence poles, or I'm sure there's a proper name for it.
Probably. If anyone knows how these things are called, please let us know. Because we have no idea. Anyway, you can... oftentimes you see these, or like the more modern ones, you can pull out the barrier thingies in like casinos, airports, wherever. With the way the new organic queues work, you can actually use these barriers, make actual queue. And people will do queue through them. Well, they will try, but sometimes the algorithm doesn't perfectly do the job on it.
You could also use any fence or any like object like plants or walls. I guess fences will look the most natural.
People will always try to queue around them.
And not into the middle of stairs.
Yeah. Turned out that was one of the issues. Luckily, Michael found it before and could deploy it too.
It's quite nice sometimes just to take a look at what we've like built over the last few months.
Michael, there's a really great question for you on Twitch, but it's rather long, so take a look at it, please.
Yeah, I'll have to log on now because
you don't have to log on. You can just open the game dev. Chat is open for. In the meantime, I need something to place down.
I had YouTube there and I forgot about Twitch. That's why. Here we go.
There's some.
Oh, it's not showing me any messages.
Ah, right. Yeah, if you.
Sorry about that.
So
okay, I'm switching back to YouTube now.
I'm just gonna read it for you out for you so you can answer it. So Way Too Cool asked, the views definitely look interesting and I can see the potential. The thing I'm really curious about is, with all the security updates, do you guys have any new plans for greater security challenges? Right now a well laid out setup can pretty much block any attempt to rob you by just setting patrols in front of the stock room access space.
I mean, in a way that's already quite challenging because it's expensive to do so for every stock. They can get every ATM, every slot machine, every OC vault as well. And pretty much any object that has inventory in it can be stolen from, like any that has cash in it. In terms of bigger events, it's a difficult one because like some people ask, can we add like the mafia and things to it, and it turns into a completely different game. I mean, in terms of tougher security, we could. You see, one of the problems we had was we did increase security before, and then people said it was too difficult, so then we reduced it again. But we did have higher security on the higher end maps. So yeah, I honestly don't have a good answer for that. Just because a change for one person sort of affects different people in different ways. We could have it as a difficulty setting. It just would be no longer. It would be tied to the profile then, not tied to the map as much.
Well, you can still have it tied to the map. Have it in addition tied. Yeah. The real problem is that currently people actually say, some people still currently say it's already too hard, and they have issues with being robbed to hell and back. So it's always tough to like find the perfect balance. I need stuff on one side and then and the start. By the way, Michael.
Yeah.
As soon as slots are up, the people should start coming to the casino, right?
Yeah, and you've got it open, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm just wondering who's gonna be the first ones. Is there gonna be? I'm just thinking, if the bus wouldn't have come now, there's probably some people spawning, walking.
Yeah, it probably takes them a little while because I tried to move the spawn point sort of behind buildings so they wouldn't just pop up in the thin air. So they sort of have to walk quite a distance. In terms of the vault specifically, like them robbing it, there is one solution, but I'm gonna have to think on it, and it's probably a bit too late to tell it now because we are thinking of launching soon, but it wouldn't be impossible to make it more difficult without just spamming lots of criminals everywhere. I may as well say what it is. You could have it where you predetermine that they're going to steal from the vault, and then you have quite a large number of them spawn at the same time, and then that way they can work together. So one can be hacking doors and disguising as janitors, and we could even make it so that they try and take down cameras as they're going around, and then one of them can be targeted to the actual vault while the others disable things around your casino. I mean, it works more like a heist without us having to hard code it as a heist, in a way. Josh is taking advantage of the updated Demolish tool.
To be quite honest, I'm just using whatever we have currently. I didn't even... I noticed a change. You reworked
That
it at
was
some
from
point.
about 3 months ago, yeah. Because before it was just like a generic tool, now it has all the options, so you can pick and choose what you want to remove.
I don't think a hole in the top of the wall zone is gonna be a sensible idea. Extend by 1.
What's it look like in first person with the multiple floors?
Have anything nice for?
Maybe some stone would be nice, and then put the plants on it in the middle bits.
So, like make it a little bit wider and then have plants in the middle?
Yeah.
Pretty. Maybe just some classic like that. Then... Base in the...
Yeah, I don't know if I'd want to see garbage and deliveries on the way into the casino. Although I think there's a tall fence.
I just heard that Arthur's gonna join us in very short. In the meantime, where are plants? Alright, we've got these new planters. Since I've used it real quick, daily tip in each episode: if you hold click on an object, it will automatically go into move mode. So as you can see, I've placed this planter 1 off, and just hold click, boop, and it's done. And I fucked up.
Close enough.
Close enough. I just placed stone over it. So.
Interesting reading the comments. Every attempt to get to the vault is blocked. I'm curious then if what we heard back in feedback before was people having other areas of the casino robbed too often. But I will note that down.
Oh my god, it worked out. It worked out perfectly. Oh, I love it when stuff
Rebuild
works out.
half the casino just to get it to line up.
All these helper lines we can move now. Well, except this one. This is the bug, by the way. But we'll probably get it fixed in like 10 minutes after this.
Well, it'll probably be about 9 p.m. by then. But
yes.
probably tomorrow, yeah.
So probably tomorrow. So if you ever run into this issue and you want grass over here, you can just paint new grass over that work. Just to remove that issue.
Yeah, I think that was reported a little while ago. This just missed it off the list. Actually, no, I think I fixed it for 2 of the sides. That's why you can do it on the other sides, and I think I missed it off one side. Something silly like that.
Seating would probably be nice.
That's interesting. They can't steal from the linked jackpots.
Yeah, that's true. Would be interesting to add, like, be able to, like, have them be able to hack. I wanted to place down some. Do you have any favorite couch?
Any favorite couch?
Yeah.
Are there any modded ones?
Not as of currently.
Hello.
Hey, White Arthur.
Hello, hello. Better late than never, right?
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Birthday, Arthur.
Thank you. Thank you.
Chat, now's your
Feels
time.
good to be an older man.
You
guys hear me okay?
I mean, we can hear you.
We hear you.
Good. How are we doing this morning? Or this afternoon?
Evening. It's going pretty well.
Yeah?
We've already been through the list of improvements. It was apparently 3 months ago we did a live stream.
Yeah, I knew it had been, it seemed like it had been a while, although we've been kind of heads down too. You already went through all of them?
Well, briefly, yeah.
Good deal. Yeah, I'm getting caught up here, getting all my streams open. So I'm kind of on a late schedule. My brother was in town, my older brother, like a week ago. I hadn't seen him in over 10 years. And he wanted to go out to the strip and down to the casinos, and we played quite a bit of poker. I'm still kind of getting off my late schedule from that. So yeah, sorry for my lateness. That said, I was telling Michael, I think yesterday, I was in the bathroom at a nicer casino, and I'd been going to a distant bathroom, and I went to one closer to the poker room one night, and just some like random things I noticed. I'm sitting there at the urinal thinking about how I can apply what I'm seeing to SimCasino. So it's not all for naught.
Yeah. Yeah, we spoke about taking like trash from our stream, didn't we? Which I added a bit of to the last Edge update.
Oh, cool. Getting Twitch open and YouTube. So we're playing with the same casino?
No, actually a new one today.
Ooh.
I'm actually in the positives today.
Well,
it's still...
That's a rare one.
Yeah, probably not gonna last long.
Just adding another Git issue from Discord.
The Git issue?
Well, adding an issue to Git from Discord.
Ah.
My plant is, seems to be doing funky stuff.
Oh yeah. I haven't seen that one before.
Eh. Places are the correct one, so seems to be fine.
We have any mods going?
Yeah, I've got a couple on, but nothing special, just a couple of mods. I didn't think about installing of mods specifically for today, so we'll have to move all the mods to.
There's quite a few on the workshop I do want to talk about there because they're pretty cool, even if we don't get to show them in stream.
Yeah.
I've got this.
Yeah, I've been watching. There are quite a few.
With this star one, I think that's from by Mod Air. Got the really
Someone
nice
added a
line pack.
pool.
Yeah, that was Mod Air.
It's purely a decoration.
I've got this line pack, which is by Chic. Really nice. You can make some line art, basically. I also got the very first mod. It's not fancy, but it's what we started with to get it working. Also rather broken, so. But anyways.
I was hoping you'd be able to place that turtle in the game.
Which one?
The icon.
The icon?
Yeah, is it a turtle or a tortoise?
Ah, the thinking turtle. I'd have to get a 3D model first.
Or a 2D image. For the floral wall.
Is Mod Air making the models? Is he finding them somewhere?
I think it's a mix. I've definitely worked with Chick to get some modeling stuff working. I've not heard from Mod Air, but I guess he's object stuff with Blender.
We have 323 mobs, and 14 of them are objects.
So I finally got YouTube up. Thank you, everybody, for the birthday wishes. I appreciate it. I am a little caffeine deprived. I'm only on Dr. Pepper number, I think, 4. And my quota is about 7, but I'm getting there.
Yeah, someone's asking about why pools won't be added. It was less to do with the animations, it was more to do with the fact that rendering the water and then trying to figure out how to make holes in the terrain and then custom shaped pools and then making the water look nice, and I think just add it all up and it becomes like months and months of work. Ignore my squeaky chair.
I thought it was my chair. I was like, is that me? Yeah, pools. Well, honestly, it's not even just the animation. It's the getting them used. It's the rendering of it. We already struggle enough with graphics programming when it comes to water, making it look decent. Yeah, just it piles on. It's not quite as bad as roads, but it gives me the same vibe. What seems very simple. Yeah, I mean, maybe we should have just gone with like the Mod Air style of an object, and maybe we just set our sights too high, as if we've never done that one before.
Yeah, I think we'd have always been wanting to add like a custom 3D like pool creator. If we had have gone that route, we'd have always been thinking about it in the back of our minds. Sometimes not adding it at all can actually be better than adding something sort of halfway, depending on what it is.
Yeah. It puts you in a tough spot because then it's diminishing returns going to making it better. So it's, yeah. Like I feel similar about sports books. When I was on the strip last weekend, I finally got a chance to get down to Circa, and Circa has this incredible sports book. I mean, my brother and I we sat at a video poker machine on the main level, but there's 2 levels, and you see this massive, probably about 200-foot screen, and they just picture everything. They've got another screen of a Twitter feed of anybody that mentions the casino. Their tweet ends up on this screen. It's so new age, but like it's theater seating in the sports book in front of this massive screen. They've got tables you can reserve. It's definitely, and I know all the sports books are kind of moving in this direction, but it's just it's another example of something where, like, how far do we go? I mean, you could damn near make a game called Sim Sportsbook at this point. Especially, I just realized that like ESPN is no longer like a sports channel. It's basically a betting channel. I don't know. You guys get ESPN?
I have no idea.
Only via NFL Game Pass. So, not really.
So yeah, same here. Like we don't have cable anymore, and so I hadn't seen ESPN. But now that sports betting is legal in the U.S. or most of the U.S., all they do the entire shows, all these talk shows, they just talk odds and point spreads, and it's literally gone from being a sports network to a betting network. It's
entertainment and sports, right? So
ish. I mean, they are pushing. Like at one point, I asked my brother, "Is that literally ESPN or is this some like sportsbook ESPN?" Because it's truly, they talked about odds for over 3 hours. I was like, no kidding. I see Desmond Charles asks, is there a wiki for object mods?
Yes, sir.
Pretty soon ESPN will hire Pete Rose. That's the truth, man. And it's funny you said, my brother is a huge Reds fan, huge Pete Rose fan. And I could see that getting him to resubscribe to ESPN just for that alone.
Someone mentioned that the start spec isn't getting used a lot. That's what I've been focusing on today, mostly. It's just really difficult to do it without having everybody then clamor onto these sportsbook. But I think I've got a good, sort of middle ground for it. But it's currently on edge.
Seems like sportsbook it. Yeah. So I've been implicitly told that I can't add to the list today. But if I was going to
say, you'd be saying the same thing to us, to be honest.
Yes, this is very true. If there was something, I would. It would be sportsbook is kind of, but truly a lot of that is because I was at the casino and I see these sports books are just different level these days. And truth be told, I hadn't really been down to the Strip aside from a couple of quick meetings in 5 years. So it was really I was a little surprised. The casinos have definitely changed. There's a lot fewer Game King machines out there. It's almost all these video slots like we have in the game. And yeah, sportsbook and even just sitting areas have become very. The experience is definitely kind of pivoted a little. There's also everything is moving towards electronic, like the table games. I saw for the first time a craps table where the table itself was an LCD screen. Each seat around the table had a touch screen. You place your bets on the touch screen. That then shows up on the table LCD screen. A real person still rolls the dice. You still get to throw. Yeah. The table has cameras that identify what the roll is, and the the dealer, he just clicks confirm to make sure the camera's got it right. It pays, and then you roll it. I mean, it's rapid fire.
I was gonna say, what are we missing from the sports book? Because if you build like a bar in there and you add some slot machines, I think the only thing you're missing is specifically the theater seating.
Theater seating, massive TVs, like massive, two-level sports books, reserve seating. So that's Circa has, for instance, they have these, I think they call them living rooms. They've got like, I think 8. You can rent out this living room and you get like 5 TVs and you can control what's on each. And it's like for a Sunday game or for a Sunday during NFL season, I think you get it for one set of games. So like the morning or afternoon games. And it's probably like $300 rental, something like that. We are also sorely missing video poker at bar seats, at seating, like in bar. Yeah, G2E. So that's part of, I actually met a buddy of mine was presenting. He ran a booth at G2E, and I also got a good stream of photos from him of some of the new stuff. And yeah, so W2C says he could sympathize with that. It's easy to get sucked into every part. And it's true. I mean, there's so many organic things happening in a casino. Like, it is a little overwhelming. I mean, as a patron, it is overwhelming. And so, yeah, that is our goal, is to be able to make it so that you guys can do anything you want with mods. I mean, as much as we realistically can. And that's pretty much what Josh has been tasked to do, is basically be there on Discord, take the requests, help you debug, implement whatever you need to be able to make, you can get your models in there, but are you able to get the functionality? And hopefully, from my understanding, that process is going pretty well. We're seeing more and more functional, useful mods.
Just real quick. CJ on Twitter, on Twitch. And you guys can also write us on Twitter. We won't read that, but on Twitch tonight. Hey guys, me and the missus of SimCasino, and I've played about loads too. Just wanted to say thank you to you. And just wanted to say thank you for playing the games. Happy to
thank you.
Happy to have you around.
Thanks for supporting us.
Honestly, that's the best part of this job, is seeing. I was just on the phone last night with an advisor for a friend of mine's business, and he was asking me, what do you do? And he's like, no kidding, you just sell the game, and there's no like recurring fee, or I think he thought I was stupid, but I told him that's the best part of the job, is like you build it and you try to really make a good game, and like there's nothing better than seeing reviews that people have hundreds of hours, and yeah, it's gratifying as hell. So we appreciate the support, and we appreciate you going out of your way to tell us thanks too. So thank you.
Also follow up on that quick question: which way is the dressing hotel room door, so the interior lock door, actually supposed to face? Handle in or out of the room?
The answer
technically the answer is it doesn't matter. Yeah. Same with the vault door.
Well, there is a visual difference.
Yeah, visually, whichever one you think makes most sense. Technically, we implemented it though in such a way where it doesn't matter.
If we did enforce it, we'd probably get a lot of bug reports on people who put it the wrong way around.
Yeah, I mean that's one of those things that we like learned over time. Originally, I can pretty much guarantee you I would have had a shit fit if we didn't enforce it, and now I know better. It just,
In fact, I
yeah,
think
like,
in SimAirport, people used to get the one-way systems mixed up, and then that caused a lot of confusion.
and it's a pain in the ass to debug because apps are computationally much more complex, and so even just like it's not easy to see what the paths are available, and yeah, which is why we've avoided in SimCasino. There's truly no one-way paths. It makes all the graph algorithms linear time or better. Yeah, there's some awesome textures on here, huh?
By the way, first word problem, because I know I've got the issue for it open still. It would be so great to have some spacing information, some system that helps you space stuff when placing.
Is that somebody said that somewhere?
No, I'm just placing stuff specifically spaced apart, and it would be
You're
too
just
great to
dying
have.
to put. So the backstory here is Joscha, like as a weekend thing, a long time back, worked on some, like basically some grid lines or like some. If you're familiar with like Photoshop or even like Google Drawings, when you move like things around, it kind of shows you. It gives you a guide when you're exactly spaced even between two like objects, that kind of thing. Joscha put something like that together, and it was probably 6 months ago now, huh?
Yeah, long time ago.
It was a while back, and
Time
just kind
flies.
of a weekend thing, and it's something he's gonna reincorporate and get merged in and get live.
Well, I don't know if it can be merged at this point. Too much might have changed for it to be mergeable, but
Yeah,
It's its own
code is
controller, so
recoverable.
like the code is pretty
it's
separate.
just all the other controllers change. But yeah, I mean I learned long ago not to doubt Josh's ability to do whatever the hell he sets his mind to.
By the way, did you see the screenshots of the new queue system?
I did not.
Oh, too sad.
Electronic roulette and craps.
Yeah, it's not in our current build because it's on Edge, and this is currently default.
Yeah. Would love to show you, but it's just needs some testing. Probably perfectly fine, but
I was gonna say Edge wasn't stable enough to jump in.
I did find a bug actually where he was walking into staircases, so we just played it safe. So that was fixed for Edge.
just in general. I mean, we've got the build of the 19th, or 2 days old. Is current master one.
Yeah, it's not massively old.
It's not worth taking the Edge build that came out half an hour ago.
Yeah. So TX Boy KC09er. Any electronic roulette craps? Saw the artwork on Steam. Very good question. So they're actually ready. We need the screen videos for them. And I think I was supposed to do this, and I think I didn't get it done.
I think those are assigned to you. Then
I think so
you
too.
tried to get an outside artist to do it. Then you
Right.
tried to assign it to me. Then I assigned it to Donna. Then we did try to assign it back to you. And then I think it ended up on your list in the end. It's like hot potato. But the reality of it is that game dev is really busy, and we've implemented a lot in the last 3 months. And like with some of the other features that have been mentioned, not everything can get in. and it can be easy to overlook what we have added in. But as long as we get those videos in, you know.
That said, we do have the models, and we just need screen videos. So
yeah,
I see that we've got some screen videos. Well, this one requires some unique ones. Okay.
Yeah, it's quite interesting from a management perspective how it gets passed around a lot.
Yeah, well, these are especially. I mean, the screen video system has been difficult, and believe it or not, rendering, we call them screen videos, but basically every slot machine screen, and each slot machine has, 2 to 4. And then every TV, all those are videos playing, and like to render 1,000 plus TV, like it's non-trivial, and so it also makes the screen videos themselves a little difficult to do and get in there. I'm checking to see if it is on our issues list, and since we have the models, it would be stupid to not get them in. I also, on that topic, so I mentioned this a little bit ago, I was floored by how much electronic stuff is going on in casinos now. That there's also, they've got these variants where, similar to the craps table I was talking about, they have blackjack where you're sitting at little stations. There's a real dealer up front, kind of on a special podium blackjack table. They're dealing the hand of blackjack with a camera overhead, and you can see what they're dealing. You see up on a projected screen behind them, and you see it at each individual station. So basically this blackjack dealer is dealing blackjack to 15 people potentially. It's another electronic style game where essentially they're reducing labor and getting more people playing table games for less labor costs. It's honestly, I'm not a big fan of it. I like that our casinos employ people, and I get it though. I'm sure that they're making lots of money, but I found it pretty incredible how much of that kind of thing is going on right now. In terms of those games, I'm checking right now to see if it is on my list. If it is, I'm going to get it done. Worst case, we'll put some very simple screen videos on them just to get them out there. And then you guys could probably mod better ones.
Joshua, when you add a fence, you don't have to remove it. You can just paste a new one on top of it. Just for quickness.
But
and then you can also change the colors as well.
But what if I want to remove it?
Fair enough. If you
also,
just replace it next to it.
A hole in the top bathroom, probably also not a good idea.
I don't know, it'd be nice to look in.
Yeah, TX Boy KC09er. Exactly. So I saw it at MGM, I saw it at Caesars. Circa had similar as well, though they had the vibrating dice type, but that were totally unmanned. Yeah, that they're becoming not just popular, but I'll be a little surprised if they don't generally take over. Meanwhile, my brother loved it, and I'm like, if I'm going to sit there and pay on average 3% of my money or whatever, I'm not a perfect blackjack player, so it's probably 7% of my money. To them, I'm going to do it. I want to be able to talk to the dealer and yell at them and talk to the players. I don't want to sit there and I could stay home and piss away money on the computer if I really want to be on a computer.
I think Shift Fence Tool might work. I know I added it for zones, and I think I might have added it for something else. I think it should work with fence, yeah, if you shift click.
You mean
to remove
the whole thing? Oh, shift. So holding shift to remove it.
Yeah, while using the fence tool.
Oh yeah, it works.
So someone asked where Colby Pup Gaming, can we get a mirror option for the clone tool? I don't see why not. It's just a matrix transform. The data set, it should literally just be adding. It's the same as rotate, but just flip.
Can all objects be mirrored is the only question.
Of course, you don't mirror the object, you just flip it. So nothing changes. It's just so the data set already has all the data in it. When we rotate it, we just rotate that 2x2 matrix around. It's the exact same thing, except instead of rotating it around, just flip. It probably could be added in just a few minutes.
I'm here. You want to add it in a few minutes?
I want one of us to, yeah. It's a trivial. Truly, it should be less than like 20 minutes.
Only 2 workmen. Where are workmen?
I missed it earlier. Tipsy Pickle played this since day one. Decided to stream it one day. 2 of your friends also bought it. Well, that is awesome. Actually, I was just when I was pulling up the stream, I just searched SimCasino, and one thing I noticed right away, and I've been bugging Josh about this for like 2 years. It feels like I see there's a bunch of 4K streams that are getting pretty good views. And they look very sexy. I really want to stream in 4K.
Yeah.
All we gotta do is buy a capture card. It's like $300.
No, that's not what we have to do. We'd have to also switch platform to something else. Because 4K at 6K bitrate, it's gonna just look mush.
Well, YouTube will downscale it for the live low latency version, and then just for the archive version.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Twitch definitely doesn't support it, Restream doesn't support it either. And Steam is always having trouble. So we could obviously go up from 1080p to 4K, just like this. But we'd lose a lot of quality. It's 4 times the picture size, but the same bitrate. Or 4 times the pixel.
Or we would just transcode it for Steam and for Twitch. Although surely Twitch supports 4K.
The problem is, even if it does, the bitrate.
I will tell you, on YouTube, the YouTube 4K videos I see are flipping sharp.
I can't wait to see this in first person, especially the way you've done the multiple stories.
I'm gonna build as much as possible, and then we will take it at first person at the end, I'd guess.
I gotta say, you are getting much better at design.
Okay.
Don't you think, Michael?
He is, yeah.
I mean, I think like in the interior design used to be like you'd pick the ugliest floors but like this looks like symmetrical and like it flows. It's got very much a casino vibe. And
it also helps that it's got millions of dollars this time.
Yeah.
That doesn't hurt anything.
To be fair, we played it without money last time, so. It does help having a new casino.
I think it still just pains you to see it go negative, but...
Yeah. I wanted to build perfect. Like I have this bigger area
Just
up top
going
here.
back to the mods real quickly. So yeah, we've got everything from different signs. We've got a snowman. We've got a ceiling fan. We've got flags, pools. Oh, the roof entry ones are really nice. So the screenshot only shows one of them, but you can build all these roof extensions on to basically give off sort of like fake overhangs, which are really nice. We've also got
like awnings?
fake balconies. Basically, yeah. And then they've also got cars and like a car price stand sort of thing. Also got a tree as well and a sun chair. Some really nice objects. And then literally like hundreds of floors and walls.
Some pretty good floors and walls too. Like especially some of the walls I really liked. Oh, sorry, the floors. I saw some like pretty striking, very casino-like flooring.
Requires researching buffet and kitchen. Luckily, will be with instant research. Well,
If you hold right click.
ah, nice. I think I added left click working too, but apparently it just doesn't ignore the requirements. But whatever. But yeah, Michael, maybe note that down because
Yeah.
it is confusing. Having instant research, you should probably also have requirements. And while we're at it, let's also get...
Is there any way to make the money bags fit the shelves better? The money sign only points one direction on the map, so sometimes they're backwards on shelves depending on placement.
So it's literally the rotation of the bags.
Can we just put a dollar sign on both sides?
I think it's more that because you'd still have the problem it would be facing the wrong way. I think based on the orientation of the shelf, the bag should auto-rotate.
And face which way though?
I think the front of the shelf where the stuff enter it, I think is what we're asking. We want all the bags to face the same way.
Front of bag equals front of shelf.
Yeah, GitHub.
Any one of you have any idea where we place the kitchen?
On the first floor?
With first floor, do you mean the ground floor?
Yes.
Okay.
Floor 0.
Well, yeah, in America it's floor 1 and then 2. I
Usually
think
it's
Europe?
G. Usually they label it G.
Yeah, but it's still the first. And then
Yeah.
the next one up is 2.
2. Yeah.
Meanwhile, we use G for ground floor and then the first up floor. So 1.
So you have G and then 1.
Yes.
And
And G is technically just 0, and then going down you have -1. So the
I would
first...
be looking for my car forever. Here they call underground usually P1 or something. Like
Yeah,
parking 1 or...
That's usually happening here too. You have P1, P2, P3, whatever, for each of the different layers. But if you have a building where you have an underground normal floor, like used area, that's usually floor -1. But yeah, I'm probably gonna place the kitchen somewhere here.
Someone asked if we can have more than 2-story rooms. To be honest, it's more of a performance issue trying to render that many objects. Because what we do is we basically do what's called culling, where you remove objects that are on lower floors, and having like 5 or 6 levels of that is going to be a nightmare on like really big maps.
Yeah, so it's...
Especially with first person.
Yeah, it's doable. It's just... It's a rendering it's a rendering performance concern. So probably not. I think it was enough of a battle to get 2 stories in there, and that was like, I wasn't giving that one up. So I think probably
I think it was because of the Sportsbook, wasn't it? Was the original intention, and then we was like, we may as well enable it for all rooms.
That was part of it. Also, though, it's a. I mean, it is pretty common. You walk into like lobbies and, like you said, atrium. It's generally, you see it quite a bit where you see pretty big. We also, for theater, it is common. You see a lot of pretty big open atrium style things. Circus, the entire thing is like that, where there's one just big overlook, and from the second floor, you're basically just slightly above the middle of this massive TV screen.
Oh my God.
Really, everybody was telling me how cool it was, and until I saw it myself, I didn't realize how neat it really was.
I haven't seen these ones yet. These are great.
We've had those for a while now.
A couple of, well, not since the last live stream, but yeah, I think like a month or 2.
Yeah. I will say some of the screenshots from first person view that I see like on the mods and stuff, pretty sick. Like some of the details in like the objects, like they really shine through when you see it from that view. It's really kind of cool.
Just seeing the casinos people make is really great too. There was a funny conversation on Discord a few days back. Someone asked a potential customer of us really asked how the casino placement system compares to like Sims, and I told him it's similar, but it's definitely not as free as the Sims we face. I mean, we are a team of 3. I guess Sims has a little bigger team, but anyway,
just slightly.
Maybe.
They probably have a team of 30 that works on building placement alone.
In the Sims, you pay per object.
Anyway, I just told him basically, hey, take a look at these lovely casinos people have made on the workshop still, even if the building is a little bit limited. And he said he's got SimCasino 5 minutes later.
Yeah. You know, I read an article a while back about a guy who was working on, I believe, The Sims 2, and his team, their responsibility was roofs. That's all they worked on, roofs. And the algorithms to like get the correct roofs, those alone they are not for the faint of heart. Like, I mean, it is all solved problems. We build roofs in real life, but generally you pay a structural engineer quite a bit of money to do the roof design, the truss design, to basically do what the Sims algorithm does, minus too much of the load aspect of it. I will also say, like, I played the first The Sims, and it wasn't advanced. The lighting was poor. It was on par with, maybe even below, like the lighting we have in SimCasino. I mean, not only did they have massive teams and like teams devoted just to roofs, and probably, you know, like every little component, they probably have a team dedicated to walls, to like every little piece, but they've also been building on that product for what, 10, 15 years now? Like,
yeah.
So like manpower plus just man time and hours, they are going to run circles around us. That said, for our team size and man hours, I think that you get a pretty damn good amount of architectural and design freedom. More than really far more than I anticipated we would probably be able to achieve.
Funny to think back, even things like before we had like the ability to move objects, and now it can be done so easily. Or being able to clone areas and obviously shift things around quickly.
And part of that, I mean, we too had some benefit there of having done this in Sim Airport. So some of that code, I mean, it didn't work out of the box. We've got walls here, don't take up an entire cell, etc. But make no mistake, we definitely got a pretty good head start, even just from the algorithmic side of knowing like how to approach the problem, but also some of the code carried over. I see TX Boy KC09er said, would it be doable to just render objects close to the edge? He's talking about multiple, like 3-story walls. So we tried some stuff like that. You end up with like visual glitches that are really jarring and like immersion breaking. Like if you end up seeing too far in for whatever reason. It also, you have to, like for people, either you have to check every single frame or like too often to see are they coming into view or not, decide to run it. It's just, that stuff all adds up, especially stuff you have to do every frame, and you only get 16 milliseconds every frame if you want to keep yourself at 60 frames a second, and 16 milliseconds is nothing. I mean, you just don't, you can't run that much computational stuff. And we already do like some GPU side culling, and yeah, the returns just diminish quick when the problem is pretty mountainous. First person not going up the stairs yet? Is this true?
That definitely works. Are you pressing space when you approach them? There should be a little UI at the bottom that tells you what buttons to press. You can also go in an elevator or an escalator, and you can set what floors you want to go to. I think first person started as a weekend project for me, and then got some feedback off Joshua about the camera, and then it just went from there. I think half the time we don't know something's possible, and then it ends up starting as weekend projects. And then sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
I'd say
I'm trying to think what we've started that didn't work. I think I tried to get outside balconies working and it didn't go very well, so I stopped on that. But I know I have old screenshots of that.
Yeah, I used to say that like something like 30% of the code we write never makes it to production. I mean, because much of this stuff starts as like us talking about something over the stream, one of us being like, oh, I think I know how to solve that technical challenge. I could do it. And we try it, and yeah, probably like 70% of the time it works, and 30% of the time we're like, oh shit, didn't realize that problem might happen. And that's just, yeah.
Did you want to cover the kitchen?
Did you want to what? Sorry?
Cover the kitchen with flour.
I still didn't get you.
You know, to cover up the kitchen with flour.
Actually, no.
This is like a hibachi restaurant. You get to watch.
Yeah.
You get to watch and spit at them.
Open kitchens seem modern.
They actually usually are from the side, not from above. I imagine that would be a hygienic problem if people drop things off.
Imagine there's glass. Glass flooring, by the way, would be.
We're in a health inspector.
Wait, I could actually make. You could make glass flooring pretty good.
Yeah, you might run into rendering problems.
Yeah,
In
may not
fact, you
work.
will.
Yeah.
For one, the shader doesn't support transparency.
Yeah, that's the biggest
So
issue.
that would
But
be
it
that would be problem number one.
it does support transparency, but it uses it for custom colors.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I believe that's right, which means it does not support transparency.
Yeah.
And
But
even
anyway.
if it couldn't, even if you did have an extra channel or a data buffer, because of the
You
way
could
the
technically
splat
make
map
a
works.
ceiling window object,
Right.
but then that's a lot of transparent glass, and glass is expensive.
Want to take a look at first person?
I do. I actually I forgot my lighter. I will be right back. I'm ready for a cigarette.
Okay,
I'm
gonna
gonna
wait
smoke
for
it
you.
here though. Yeah, I'll be right back. I do want to see first person. Can you build an elevator though? I want to see the elevator. Right.
Oh, please don't break. Please don't break. I was hoping that's working. It should be. It's been in the game for a while now.
Get Mike on the hot seat. Yeah. Maybe you need a cigarette. I'll be right back.
Le elevator. Sorry, I cannot build the elevator. It requires fast multi-floor access. 1 second. Sorry, technology. And right, the elevator is 3x3, not 2x2.
Frozen turkey in the Hyatt O'Hare's glass floor. Did it hit it? And surely, to goodness, it was tempered glass and wouldn't break. Unless it's just a massive turkey.
Apparently there's another guest running in underwear again.
Where?
Well, not in here.
Not in this live stream, but someone's mentioned it in the chat, but it still happens sometimes. I don't know if I'll ever be able to fix every case of it, because forcing an agent to do something specific instead of just weighing them towards something can end up with stuck cases. Like, it could be very, very scene specific, given that I haven't heard of that issue in months, and then it suddenly turns up in one of them. It definitely sounds a lot better than it used to be, where it happened quite frequently. Now, I don't know, it could be just one specific room or one
Truth be
specific
told-
scenario where you haven't done it.
Truth be told, in real life, you see people walking around in all kinds of shit in the casino. I mean, depending on the casino, it could be anywhere from like straight thongs and a bra to like bathing suits that might as well just be strings to very
Let me get
obese
that bikini
people
out.
wearing also strings. I mean, there's a little bit of everything.
Michael, there's something
Add it to the list.
coming through the roof.
I think that might be the bottom of the fence. I'm gonna have to look at fences.
Yeah, the issue
What's
is
wrong with it?
on the corner here it's fine, but in the middle of the
Yeah, you want the bottom of the fence to appear on the edges of the floor, but not be like the middle of the ceiling.
All right. It's actually not going to be easy.
I wanna sit. By the way, the UI in the bottom is gone. Seems to only be up for a second.
Ah.
And there's a G on the left, and I have no idea what it does.
G is ground floor.
Ah, indeed.
And it'd be cool to have a mini map.
The UI disappearing is actually on purpose after a timer, just so it doesn't get in the way. But it definitely showed up at the start. It should also reappear every time you go to a portal.
Is there... How do you get out of first person? Or is it blocked by us?
Just press escape.
Well, some people like me might not know that.
I might have to leave the UI on permanently then.
Yeah, probably best idea.
No, I would... Well, I would just put escape to exit or a button. So you have to hit... Why do you have to hit it?
Well,
Really?
the cursor disappears, so it'd be hard to click on anything in first person.
Why doesn't it clip you, though, I guess? Why could he walk right through it?
You mean the
Also, where's the
stairs?
glass? Where's the glass?
Which glass?
The glass is there.
No, on the, I don't see any glass. Oh.
Yeah, I can see it. It's just very thin.
It used to be...
I think it's more visible from above. I think because of the lighting, it doesn't quite look the same in first person.
Gotcha.
You'd have to like add fog to it, like basically like make it less transparent.
And so the ceilings, are they all the same?
Yeah.
Or is that...
Currently, yeah, because trying to make a first person like editor to like change that, I'll have the camera be upside down while modifying the like ceiling would be quite tricky.
Oh, that's pretty flippin' cool. Can you run?
Yeah.
Yeah, press shift.
Wee.
Can you jump? Can you jump?
Nope.
And if I did add that, you'd be like, and why did you spend time adding that?
Then I'd be like, hey, now I can jump onto the chairs and I'm stuck. Honestly, it's pretty sweet. It's kind of impressive how well everything looks too. Like, obviously the models are all set up to look the best from above, from the views you're going to be playing at. They weren't really set up to be like super high detail, and so it's pretty it's actually pretty sweet that it looks that good. I kind of wanted you to go stand in front of slots. Maybe you did and I missed it. I mean, now I'm like I want you to play a slot.
Oh, that's a whole other kind of worms. I mean, at that point, you're making an entirely different game for every slot machine and for every table game and for bingo and...
Surely you can bang out one slot game in a day, blackjack in a day.
If you want to go for it.
Can add microtransactions and loot boxes and...
Now we're getting to the real reason behind it.
It won't even be loot boxes, it'll be simply gambling. At least no disguise. Bartender did not skip it. So what, the frozen turkey just sat there? So for ceilings, just duplicate the code for floors. So I'm not sure, how are you rendering the ceilings?
So
Another
it is
tile
technically just another floor, yeah.
and just flipped.
Yeah.
I mean, there's really no reason you couldn't do that.
It's really the camera, because first when I tried adding more possible camera angles, it just crashes. I think it's like Quantanian math error or something stupid like that.
So
and secondly, you'd have to have the camera upside down to see the ceiling.
Well, what I was thinking is you could have a button when you go into like a ceiling build menu. Instead, what you do is you flip over that tile map so it's facing up, and you hide the floors.
I mean, I still think that might be a bit awkward to use. Yes, it's better than nothing.
I mean, even just adding the ability to do it, and then even if we don't add any textures and let modders add them. Especially, yeah, all you're doing right now, you're just putting that same texture on everything, yeah? As soon as the floor gets built, and if it gets removed, you remove it. Will you put that on the list? Don't assign it. We may never get to it, but I do think it would. Yeah, I do think it would be, even if it is just when you select a ceiling, the ceiling build menu, it literally just hides the floor tile maps and just flips over the ceiling ones and then unflips them as soon as you're out of that.
Don't forget though when it flips, because what I had to do was I had to. Did I flip the X coordinates or did I find a simple solution?
The simple solution
I had
is scale -1.
No, I think that
on the
moves
y-axis.
all the coordinates to the other end of the map.
Not on the y-axis. It should not move at all.
Yeah.
Actually, that's all shader based, so I don't even know if there is a quad. Anyway, yeah, I'd add it. It's worth taking a peek at. I think that there might be a simple way. And like I said, like, it's not something where I would want us to spend time adding a bunch of textures or anything, but if we could make it available so that modders could put stuff in there, then that alone could be worthwhile. Especially if it's a low risk code thing.
Yeah, I think for me it's less of code and more of a UX thing.
Yeah, I think it's solvable, like, pretty easily, if we can flip it. Half-high walls. So don't we have that? Don't we have half-high wall fence?
We have fences, yeah, but not half walls.
So can we just make a fence model that is a quad? Or really a stroke cube?
I think we spoke about this last time, something to do with the textures and the way it sort of works.
Right, because they're all...
I think it would also affect, depends if you count it as a fence or a wall. If you count it as a wall, then it will validate enclosed rooms. But I think technically you can make a hotel bedroom with just fences around it. I think that might already be a thing.
Nope, you need...
Pretty sure it has to be walls.
No, because that would only affect that zone. That works for other zones, like the business rooms, but the hotel specifically, I think it based on... Well, you'd need a wall eventually for a door, but other than that, I think you could just use fences.
Is there any reason we can't just pass a custom buffer into the fences? You can already colorize them, correct?
Yeah.
Is it color only or is it texture too?
I guess in theory you could do texture, I'm trying not to overcomplicate it. But
okay.
I'll add it to the list.
Yeah, and again, the reality is we're getting pretty close here to the point where we're thinking about releasing. We're trying not to do anything too risky, but we're also, like, you guys know us, we're not gonna like just stop doing things. I also, we're always looking for bang for buck. Like, if we can, especially like in my head, I go towards mods. If we can add some functionality without having to go do a ton of like tedious asset assignment and stuff, and let you guys bring in the stuff you want, especially since, frankly, looking at the workshop, you guys come up with equally, or let's be realistic, often better textures than we do. So to me, it's like if we can put in the feature, then let you guys run with it. That's always ideal. I saw something somewhere.
I don't really need that big of a room behind the reception.
And unless you want to reuse it for storage or something.
Not really. But I can probably do it.
And I love the office pack on the mod store too, and I love the bingo TVs. It's actually quite a bit of really cool shit. It helps a ton too that many of these mods have first-person view screenshots that really make it look sexy. The lighted Asian wall column-shaped lamp, those are sick.
How big's the casino now, if you zoom out?
This big.
It's getting there. Still a lot to fill in.
Yeah.
Could be a 10-hour live stream.
Is there a way to see square footage? Probably maybe the tax view. The tax report. Footage meter, whatever unit.
Casino evaluation on the right.
I just, like an idiot, I clicked it on the stream.
Yeah. The structures probably, but I'm not
79, 42.
I'm not quite sure if that is true, of if both floors.
I would believe
If
so.
it's the same code as the map part, then yeah, I don't think I really touched the screen when I parted it either.
And I wrote the code for Sim Airport, so.
I had no part in that part of code, so I have no clue. But whatever you say is probably right.
Yeah, I would guess that is right.
So yeah, I bought 8,000 square meters. And since the cell is basically 1 by 1 meter, it's square meter.
Ish.
Just as a side note as well, sometimes if we sound like we're like hesitating to add things, part of it is obviously not wanting to add more bugs close to launch. But another reason as well is what you need to remember as well is we have to get the game functional. Like, I'll spend half my time watching guests go to toilet and figuring out what needs we have rather than working on all the exciting stuff that modders work on. I think I mentioned it in the Discord and people found it funny. I was like, yeah, I just spend all day watching people go to toilet, you know. That's the reality of it. You know, I don't get to work on pools or, well, obviously in the past I've worked on exciting stuff, but now as we get close, it's like, first person, like, ceiling control would be cool, but I've got to make sure that, like, the statistics for the casino are correct, for example, or even just simple stuff like Joshua pointed out, the Demolition tool doesn't work near the edge, or yeah, using the toilet the right amount of intervals. Otherwise, or in this case specifically today, visit the sports book enough without all holding together at once. And that's the reality of it, is we don't get to work on a lot of the exciting stuff towards the end, and so that's where mod support comes in.
Yeah, that's I get it. I'm a kid in a candy store every time, and I'm trying to find low hanging fruit. But Michael is spot on that at the end of the day, if we add 1,000 really shiny cool features, but your guests are stuck in the swimming pool forever, then there's not, then we've shot ourselves in the proverbial foot. Hey, TX boy KC09er, thank you for joining us. Enjoy work. And yeah, appreciate you being here and giving feedback. David S, for the SA players, thoughts on future expansion of the game. So, very good question. We've been discussing it internally. I was kind of hoping that this week or next week, at least one of us was going to be starting on it. I think we may end up being about a week or two behind.
I can.
Depends on how many features we had as well from the live stream.
Yeah, this is true.
So
maybe you guys would have been better off. Your Sim Airport players out there watching would have been better off if I had just kept sleeping. But the current plan is we're going to try to get a Sim Airport update out by the end of the year. And what exactly that's going to contain is still TBD. We were gonna discuss that Tuesday. We still got a little bit of a backlog going on with SimCasino that we're fighting through, though. We're going to... Joscha has a list of stuff he knows he needs to work on or wants to for Sim Airport. He's going to put about 2 weeks into that. And some of that's pretty simple stuff, like there's been some optimizations in SimCasino that are almost like copy-paste that'll... I think we might look at like a 20% performance improvement, maybe even more in Sim Airport, just by copying and pasting, for the most part, a couple of files back to Sim Airport from SimCasino. That's not the extent of the update that we have planned, though. There are going to be some features. How much feature, and what exactly they are is still to be determined. Internally, I think we're hoping to have that nailed down 2 weeks from Tuesday, this past Tuesday. You'll hear us talk more about it in the next live stream with some more hard details, and by then we should be decently into actually working on that, so we should have a better idea of if our estimates on how much we can get in are match reality.
Besides that, I'm probably also gonna share some stuff on Sim Airport Disc soon as I'm working on. Be sure to join that.
So the gist, though, is that that is the plan. We're gonna get a content update out for Sim Airport, and our goal is by the end of the year. You know how that goes. We'll see if we hit it. We'll be updating the roadmap too after. Look for that in about 2 weeks with at least our high level hope of what that's going to contain. And then we'll go from there.
Sim Airport is a movie.
Yes.
A movie?
Yeah, on the stream.
Where?
You should really look at Skype, by the way, instead of looking at the stream. The stream is always delayed, but you should be able to see my stuff on Skype too. Instantly.
Sick. Yeah, no, I know. I just... will there be other windows to add for the reception booth that don't have bars like a prison? I thought we had some of those.
Yeah, the modeled it was just on the list.
And it's not been implemented yet?
Not yet. I think it's more tricky if you swap in models rather than just swapping textures and colors.
But we have working version of it. It should just be marker assignment and drop in, no?
Kind of.
I believe you. I get it.
I think I have
It
to
is.
hook it up through statues, technically.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I feel it started off as chairs, then it became extended to statues, and then that's sort of where it led on from.
When you say you mean the model swapping aspect?
Yeah.
It's like using a variant. Why not just make it a separate object with the same utility? Well, I
You mean
won't.
just duplicate it?
Yeah.
That'd be the simplest way. You just end up with lots of duplicates of the same object. And I know, especially with statues, you wanted them all in like one menu.
Well, statues, yeah, was special because there's a freaking lot of them.
Tons of them.
Yeah. Okay, it's on GitHub though.
I'll add it now.
Okay.
I think ages ago we had a meeting where I was asked to focus, so I removed a lot of stuff, but now we're just going through and adding stuff back again.
Well,
Nothing wrong
part
with
of it
that,
is
just
part of
wipe
it
out
is
lots.
what we'll eventually probably do is we'll extract the top stuff back to a public roadmap or public and allow the voting, and it'll probably be similar to Sim Airport, where we will probably, whether we work on another game, whatever, but it'll probably be something we circle back in. It could be 6 months, it could be a year. Some of this stuff that we're talking about today, maybe try to slide in, but realistically we may not. Yeah, in any case, like, it can't hurt to put it on the list. Plans to add a souvenir gift shop in the future. Yeah, the only thing I ever buy from those is cigarettes, and they're usually around $12 to $15 for one pack, which is about 3x the price of what they actually cost at a gas station. I know my wife, however, she can't help but go into one and come out $70 lighter with 2 keychains. That's facts. Really, if anything, if we're gonna do something like that, it's not gonna happen before release. And if we did, I personally think the better way to do it would be to do a placeable object, like a kiosk style. I'm not a huge fan of. I've never loved the way retail has worked. It just gets micro quick. I think like the food stuff, I think it's pretty spot on in SimCasino and Sim Airport. Michael will defend it till the day he dies. It's way better than it was when I made it. He really improved it in Sim Airport, but I just don't. Yeah, like if anything, I think we do a placeable object just for simplicity and time's sake. But I can confidently say we're probably not going to get that before release. Colby Pup Gaming said a gift shop would be cool to be able to sell old card decks. That's actually one of the sole reasons I ever used to go into the gift shop. I don't know if you guys are aware. So the card decks in casinos, they're actually plastic cards. They're not like the shitty playing cards you buy like at your big box store. They're a high quality plastic. As a kid, I used to do Magic, and I would always want plastic cards. And I can remember actually washing my plastic cards because just over time they get like a little grungy, and when you're doing Magic and sleight of hand stuff, you need them to be exactly the right texture. And yeah, that's one of the things they sell is their retired card decks. Usually, and they I forget what they did back then. I think that they would like punch a hole through them, or they would clip out like a section of the corner or something, so that you couldn't try to bring your card up your sleeve and go play blackjack and swap your hand. Frankly, you could probably almost do it with mods. The only thing that you would probably need some help from Joscha to get it to take inventory of old card decks. And I'm not sure, the card decks right now, they end up just getting used up and they disappear.
Yeah.
So I do think if you put a model together and you get with Joscha on Discord, I bet you he could help you make it functional. It'd just basically be a vending machine type thing that requires stocking of card decks that are empty or that are no.
The trickiest bit is forcing the table games to produce them rather than to bin them.
Yeah.
So trying to inject that code.
And really, you probably could just create a new product type called old card deck or retired deck, something like that, and just have it still consume them, but then when it consumes them, spit back out those, and then those could either go trash or they could get taken to a souvenir place if there's, yeah.
If you do it that way around, you don't get walls. If you just select them and click clone, you'd have to use the clone tool to get walls.
I'd also need... Well, I don't. Wait. Oh, never mind.
So do you have any janitors?
Yes. Why?
Well, I was telling you guys about the bathroom thing, and the truth is that the bathroom I went to that was closer was disgusting. There was a guy in the far stall who was clearly just hammered. And it was only like 11 at night. He was so drunk, he was like leaning into the urinal. He eventually dropped his beer and it just shattered all over, and he's moaning the entire time. He ends up falling to the floor, and I'm just like trying to do my business at the urinal. And this bathroom though was right outside of the nightclub. It was just disgusting. But there was one janitor in there full time. The other bathroom I had been going to that entire night, it had 3 guys in that bathroom full time, just cleaning. And by full time, I mean the entire time I was there. So they probably literally have 3 guys in that bathroom on weekends from, 8 p.m. to 3 a.m. or something. But they literally just did not stop mopping. They just...
Someone's being chased.
And so that was something I was telling Michael and Joscha the other day, that I'd like to see more of that type of... Yeah, when shit goes downhill, it should... When it rains, it should pour.
Yeah, that's been worked on today. It's just not on the latest version. I think you need to increase the number of guards that can chase at once.
To be fair, shouldn't guards be a little bit stronger than eaters, hackers and stuff?
Yeah, I think it's a bit random at the moment, because if they're too strong, the guards, then you only ever really need like a couple of them. So the idea was to try and encourage them sort of working together. But yeah, it probably looks a bit ridiculous right now. I can boost up the guards a bit more.
Yeah, like 1-on-1, a security guard should be stronger than anyone entering the casino, really.
That might make it probably make it a simple researchable. I just don't want to make them too strong, because you only really need 1 guard to get them. When having multiple, probably is better.
my opinion, once he gets stopped, if you get a second guy there, you win. You should win every single time.
Oh yeah, second guy, yeah. It's just because there was only one guy going after him.
Yeah.
Probably best of scheduling some more. I security guards.
You might want to set up some patrols instead.
Probably fine, Kun. And
In
then
fact, if you
security
don't have
guard.
any cameras, then we're not going to see him a lot. It's kind of lucky actually that person got caught at all.
Yeah, indeed.
I think it must have been one of the staff that saw them and alerted the guards then.
I think the
Because I
guard
can't
was.
see, there's no camera, and unless the guard was doing a job, yeah.
Yeah, the guards do be running around, so.
Quite lucky though.
Indeed. By the way, one really maybe nice addition would be some invisible or nearly invisible fence. Ah, well, I can cheat.
For what?
To place, for example, in the middle here, just to control the flow of people. Because these people are going through the middle here, which I don't want.
Well,
Why
there's
not?
some nice stone walls you could do. Some other fences options that look better outside. You could just pick a nicer fence, or even just place plants all the way down.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do now. Like have a mix of planters and...
That is an ugly color.
What, the plant?
You don't even need the fence in the middle if you add the plants.
Oh, right. Fence be gone. More plant.
Yeah, I was wondering what you were saying. If you've got plants there, you don't need a fence.
Yeah, I did.
You can also change what appears on the hedges as well to switch them out to flowers and such. And change the colours of the bricks as well.
I like the planters. I think that's.
I think someone made a modular planter kind of mod.
By the way, the plants use the statue code as well, just with swapping out hedges and flowers and such.
At least some.
I mean, yeah, technically a statue is just a renamed chair.
Nah.
That doesn't move.
In code. Yes.
See, it doesn't make sense when you first hear it, but when you start from the beginning, need a chair that's separate to an object. Okay, now I need a statue that doesn't move. Then I need a hedge. Then I need a custom window for a desk.
Part of me wonders if that UI is awfully hidden.
Which UI?
So, like, if you go to place another one of those planters for me.
I don't know, it's right there on the left, and it auto selects the different options, unless you just want it bigger.
No matter how you open it. If you open it via the build menu, it comes up. If you use the picker, it comes up. So,
Okay, so here's actually what I would like to see. Down on the bottom on the UI, the build menu, where you select what object, I'd like to see a number in the top right of how many variations there are.
I swear I added that, and someone asked me to remove it, whether it was you or Joshua, I don't know, but it got a bit
It wasn't
messy,
me.
because I swear I added, it was either a number or an icon. It had a little designature icon. I think that was it, instead of a number.
if you change that real quick, please be careful with the Steam icon now. Because I think
Oh.
I'm reusing that now for the Steam.
The Steam icon? What do you mean?
If you make mods for yourself, you have some way to edit it. And the Steam icon. Let me see if I have some mod. I think I made a
No,
website.
this would just be a text overlay.
Yeah. I'll
like
add
the
it, but
price.
I'm pretty sure I added it very early on. It might have even been before we launched the game. It was like in a much earlier version of the build menu.
Honestly, it kind of rings a bell. It may have been me that asked you to remove it. At the time, that menu was really cluttered. Like the spacing was funny. It just was. It was just haphazard. Yeah, I do like so. I do get the impression. I've seen some reviews, and it has been a little while since I've seen these types of reviews. Maybe so it maybe is improved now, but I get the impression people kind of don't, especially when you're first playing. I watched so many streams where people like, I mean, the most painful thing for me to watch is when people are coloring the walls for an entire massive room and they literally drag every single wall. And I just want to like punch myself because I'm like, I see the freaking tooltip right there. Just please hold shift. Please.
I mean, it's literally in other games as well, so if they've played The Sims, they'll know how to do it, but...
Yeah, and I mean, there's only so much can... I don't know if that's in the tutorial or...
I think so, yeah. I think there's like a separate building option for the tutorial. The only problem with the number is it might suggest how many you've built rather than how many variations there are.
Or maybe even in the tooltip, or maybe just an icon of like that shows whether something has variations or not. The icon is present, and then on the hover it could show there are 30 variations available, or the number. I don't know. I do though. I get the feeling, even just looking at screenshots, I see a lot of the defaults often. And that could just come down to the click count that it requires, but yeah.
By the way, how do you like the buffet running up?
Oh, it looks busy as well.
Yeah.
I know we had a lot of feedback about not enough people using it. Let's hope the now don't say it's too busy.
It looks busy, but I also think it looks quite nice.
Yeah. I think it looks fantastic. It looks very true to life.
What time is it in game? Because I can't quite see the corner. I know it's a Tuesday.
6:30 p.m.
That's about mealtime then. That's good. See, it does get busier at mealtimes now. There's some slight random variations of the order just pile on at once, but for the most part, they get hungry at meals.
I mean, that's very realistic. Like, the Caesars buffet, widely regarded as one of the best. It is very good. Like, you can get filet mignon cooked to order. You can crab legs, creme brulee. Like, it's over the freaking top. But you can pay, I think it's $75, or last time this was 4 or 5 years ago. It was $70, and then it was like a 2-hour wait. And this was at like 4 o'clock, just as like it was getting busy. Instead, though, you could pay $150, and if you paid $150, you got to skip the line, and you were in the fast pass lane.
Is that $150, not like $1.50?
$150, yeah, instead. So you paid 2x the cost, but you get to eat. You get put in this smaller queue, and yeah, I mean that. I'm telling you. I told my brother, and I tell everybody that comes to Vegas, it's going to cost you about $100 an hour just to be down there. And I would say we didn't do so hot at betting. I did all right at poker, but I mean, that's how it is. Like, they find anything and every way to charge you. But yeah, isn't that nuts? You pay 2x just to get in the fast pass line for a freaking buffet. I think it's hilarious. And what do you know? Of course we paid it. We're not going to wait 2 hours. If we're hungry and we went to the buffet, you think we're going to wait 2 hours to, like, there's 4 other restaurants around that we could just go to. Of course we're going to pay the money and eat. Okay, a couple of questions on YouTube. Peter Post. If you have guards on patrol, are the guards in the vault still chasing the thieves?
So guards in the vault can do anything from chasing thieves if they get called. Obviously, if they can't see them directly, they'd have to wait for a security camera to alert them, or another guard on patrol. But they can do that, or they'll obviously do jobs around the casino, fill in like machines and such. Guards on patrol don't do any of the restocking jobs, just that they focus on catching criminals, because I know that was some early feedback that it can be annoying if a guard on patrol is too busy restocking rather than looking for criminals, so they just do that.
Did the guards talk to each other though, right? It doesn't require a camera? If one guard sees it...
Yeah, it doesn't require a camera. But obviously, you're more likely to see them if you have lots of cameras.
Sure. But if a guard sees it, then the other guards are notified.
Yeah.
Okay. Colby Pup mentioned in his Steam thread he'd really like to see research office become a manager's office with a boost to overall profitability. How would you... how precisely would the overall profitability be boosted? Like, through what? Do we just add money to the bottom line? And that's kind of an asshole way to ask that question. But I guess what I'm asking is, like, can you tell us specifically what gets boosted?
Because I know Prison Architect, because I know for a while they just had it as research, and I think like 2 or 3 years into early access, they finally had a solution for it. But that type of thing requires like months and months of like design and thinking about. Like, it might not take long to implement, but it takes a lot of time to really like get down to that type of nitty gritty in a game.
Yeah, like that's exactly right. Like a lot of that kind of stuff is the implementation is damn near trivial. Some of that money stuff, it's a little bug prone, like, and it's a little tough to like audit and go back and ensure it's working correctly. But the hardest part often is figuring out like what should it do that makes sense and isn't unbalanced. I mean, like Michael just said, he's been creeping on people at using the bathroom for the last couple days just to understand how bathrooms work. And
that was last week. Last couple of days was sports books, but yeah,
I'm kidding. But that's the reality, is like getting him to go to the bathroom, trivial. Getting him to go to the bathroom the right amount and not too much, and to make enough of a mess. And to, speaking of the mess thing, do you have drunk people more likely to make messes?
I know they're more likely to break objects. I don't think I did it for litter. Actually, no, drunk people are more likely to drop litter, but not specifically in the bathroom.
Can we get specifically in the bath? Because truly, like, that was every single, and I was in 8 or 9 casinos this last week and a half. I actually just texted my brother and sent him the stream. But every single bathroom I was in during the popular hours, there were literally at least one person in there the entire time. Like, there's always a little closet in the bathrooms, like a 5 foot by 5 foot, a decent sized little room where they've got their mops and stuff, but literally in their full freaking time. And it's not because they are trying to employ lots of people. It's because if they don't, then the bathroom's going to become disgusting quick. And I personally don't love disgusting bathrooms, but I can tell you, all these women that get super dressed up to go to a club and wait in line for 7 hours to get in, they certainly care if the bathroom is disgusting. And I've never been in a women's bathroom. My guess is they keep those even tighter.
Michael? New bug for
Apparently
you.
the clone tool's been weird, so I've just added it onto Git, yeah.
Yeah, you literally can
Specifically with
clone it.
Yeah, does it work if you just use the normal clone tool and you
I think
select
we'll
wall
do
object?
that.
Then it includes the windows,
yes.
but it does select them though.
Yeah. So it has to do something with the multi-select and then...
Right. So at least it's not the full clone tool, at least it has to start from scratch, it's just the way that version specifically passes it.
it's
funky.
probably the specific curtains.
I doubt it's the curtain specifically, unless it's like wall objects in general.
Yeah, my guess is wall objects that are thin. Those wall objects have like almost no depth, it looks like.
Also a good one. If I select this TV, go to clone tool. That's not what I selected. So yeah, the clone tool seems to be really weird whenever you use the multi-select. And try to select, go to clone tool. Like, yeah.
It's selecting the entire thing between
Yeah.
the two objects. It's min-maxing. Well, honestly, I'm surprised that you guys even have the clone tool working with multi-select, because part of the...
Well, it's not working.
Well, and it almost... The way the clone tool was originally designed, I'm not sure...
I'm back.
Oh, I didn't know we lost you. The way the clone tool was originally designed was that the object validations rely on the entire thing to be selected, because they depend on the fact that the original placements were valid. You know what I mean? And so then, because when you validate them, what order are you going to validate them in for your new placement? There is no correct order, because it's just not possible. You would have to Monte Carlo it. So I'm not sure how that could even be made to work if you can select stuff that has a gap between it. Unless you guys totally change that clone tool, I don't actually think it's possible the way the architecture was originally. Like, it would have to do a min-max bound box.
I mean, it should work fine. Like, if I select these two, clone, this works perfectly fine. And we know the initial position was correct.
Give me a second. I will think of a scenario where it doesn't.
I think literally what we do is validate one at a time, and then when the first one fails, for whatever reason, then it stops.
But that's before they're placed, so you're not validating against.
I think it reruns the validation.
It definitely reruns the validation. Take a look at this.
Yeah.
This fails. Because the marker isn't reachable.
So yeah, that was updated. I think it's just a specific issue with the wall objects. Just before I cut offline, I think it looked like you tried to select the TVs and then it selected the beds as well.
No, Michael, take a look at this.
Min-max. So this I understand. This makes sense because we run the validation for each object, but the objects in your clone selection, they're not aware of any of the other objects in your clone selection. They don't validate against the other objects in the clone selection.
Yeah, and that's totally fine. With multi-select, you can still only clone already placed stuff.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a scenario where I think it fails, because
I mean, the whole thing you just said was basically the clone tool requires the objects to be validly placed.
Right, and so they are already validly placed.
Exactly.
Except that if you skip things, can you think of a scenario where it's only validly placed if the object in between them is there? That's where it would fail.
Only with walls.
I don't think there's any objects like that other than walls, and we validate them separately when it works. But yeah, we do specifically validate for walls.
Let me check real quick. So if I take some random wall, let's say plant,
Oh, please work, please work.
I do it this. It doesn't work at all.
Well,
So-
if you use the other clone tool properly, then yeah, it should work. I think it's
Mm.
just a specific bug with that.
Yeah.
No kidding. Honestly, so part of me wonders, and I mean, this is so sexist, I really shouldn't be saying it, but part of me wonders if women just have higher standards for bathrooms. I
Yeah.
sort of suspect there might be some selection bias there.
What?
I'm fine with the bathroom if it's not covered in
Or is it
urine.
based on a comment?
Ah,
Yeah, so they're saying
you should say it when you
Yeah,
switch
sorry.
topics.
Well, there were three people, Colby Pup, Peter, and Colby Pup said one of the teachers in high school said the ladies' rooms were always nasty at the school. And Peter says I did work some years ago as a manager at a bar dancing. Totally agree with the teacher. The ladies' rooms were just more dirty as the male rooms. And so yeah, sometimes I wonder if that is just we males might be more forgiving. To me, if it doesn't smell and the floor isn't sopping, then I'm not overly hard on it.
Well, I assume if it's a manager, they might. Oh no, I guess a manager wouldn't clean those rooms, but I assumed it was the same person going into both rooms and comparing both, like some sort of janitor.
That
In
could
which case-
that could be.
Yeah, they wouldn't be biased because it'd be the same person, so it'd be the same like variable. Or you can have a window into the cash vault, and then just add a little hole for him to take money out.
Eh, it's gonna be an expensive room then.
Oh, the comments are getting quite interesting now about the dirty rooms.
It's a hot topic, huh?
Real quick in between. Mama Van on Twitch. Evening. Thank you for making the game. Thank you for playing it.
Yay!
Yeah, thank you. Actually, I just stumbled on this. I'm gonna send this to you guys in Slack. A screenshot of Hotel Magnet or Magnate. I don't know how you say it. With their, this is what I want to see in terms of the thing you're working on, Joscha, the grid thing.
Yeah, it looks similar.
Speaking of which, have you guys played Hotel Magnet? And how is it?
Definitely not.
Anybody on the
I've seen
stream?
videos of it.
I'm gonna.
It's got curved walls and diagonal walls, but it doesn't have multi-floors yet.
Yeah,
I saw the diagonal and like hex walls. I love it. It's sexy.
Also, it doesn't have clone tool, and they just made a vote between like 3 features, which I think we all have, and clone tool just won. So, as I just made like 20 new rooms in, I don't know, a minute, and redo that in Hotel Magnet.
We cheated though because we got most of it from some airport.
It's still honestly weird how little the game content.
Well, I was talking to the developer a bit because we had to redo a load of code apparently. So they had multi-floors, they had quite a few of the features like pools and that, and then they had to restart a lot of it. I think they figured out some stuff was inefficient and weren't going to scale it.
Okay.
Looks like they kind of went to a cartoony look.
Yeah, I think it started off more realistic as well. I don't know if they switched engines or if it was less extreme of a change from that, but
Oh,
yeah,
they
it's
have
quite
rounded
interesting to
walls
see.
too. I like it. It does look like the lighting is. It looks like they don't have like roof lighting.
Mm.
It's a nice looking, and I don't know. Most of you guys are on the stream all the time. We wish everybody luck. Like we want everybody to have. We want good games to be made. We love seeing indie devs. Wish success on everybody. So there's no hard feelings. If anything, we look at those games to learn and to see like, hey, what is their UI better? What's the yeah. So it's not I promise if I sound negative, I don't mean to. If anything, want to see them be successful. Actually I speak with one of the owners of their publisher once every month or two, and that they're great guys. That they care about the game. They care about all their games, and that they're very similar to us. They've got a couple of small teams, and they're learning. They're trying to make good games just like us. And actually, the game visually looks nice, and the rounded wall just is goddamn sexy.
We've talked a little bit about weekend projects, some weekend projects some time back, and I can say it's like one of the hardest having free-form building. Like, okay, to be fair, I think Hotel Magnet doesn't have completely free-form building.
I think it's arcs and angles.
Yeah, having free-form building is a brutally tough problem. Just in comparison, SimCasino we use cells, and each cell basically is a unit you walk across or not, and that ends up to be quite easy, pathfinding-wise, building-wise. Where can you place something and where not? In freeform construction, it's a lot harder. Just finding the space that is inside and separating from how placeable something is really
Very difficult.
lots to do
That
with.
might even be why they had to restart. If they decided to implement that and then realize, oh, half the engine is just not going to work with it.
I suspect that they're using a third-party library-ish to at least do the rendering for walls. There was one I looked at very early in SimCasino Dev that supported it. It was actually pretty solid. It did not scale was the problem. And then that's to say nothing of all the problems Josh had just talked about with object placement, which is another. It's doable. You can raycat, you can do all kinds of stuff. The pathfinding part then becomes tough.
To be fair,
The best solution that scales is to basically exclude those cells or that kind of thing, and they're just kind of hacky solutions.
to be fair, pathfinding is actually one of the things that's not too difficult, because when you already have to generate a mesh for a room, you basically for free get enough mesh, and that's even better in performance than how. Okay, probably not better, but
it doesn't scale is the problem. It just doesn't scale, and that may be why they had to rewrite. That is what you end up doing though, is you end up running meshes for each room, and you're right, you do get some of that pathfinding for free, but then you get into merging, you get into weird shapes where it spirals quickly.
Yep. It's basically.
In any case, hats off to them though. Like, it's very cool to see. It's like, I think I speak for Michael and Joscha and myself in saying, like, as from a technical level, it's something we'd certainly love to just try to challenge ourselves to do someday. It's not going to happen for SimCasino. But yeah, I mean, technically it's a cool thing, and we like our challenges, that's for sure. Hell, this game started out in 2D.
We'll
And
have
was
it out in
functional.
6 months.
It was pretty damn functional, and it looked pretty good.
But we really wanted 3D.
And yeah, it looked nowhere near as good as this does, and yeah, it would have been Sim Airport, but Casino Hotel. It just would not have been. The experience would have been much worse, in my opinion. So, speaking of other games, how about Gas Station Simulator? We got anybody here on the stream played that one? You guys haven't played it?
No.
It's like all the rage.
I barely play anything. The only
Yeah,
thing
I'm
is,
trying to get away from the computer.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
I mean, I'm trying to find something to play, but in the end, it's just Flight Simulator.
Yeah.
Or FTL is normally my thing.
FTL?
Yeah, Faster Than Light. Have you not heard of FTL? It's like one of the most popular games like ever made. Well, in recent years, or 2012, so quite old now. But that's nearly a 10-year-old game.
That's a roguelike. 2012, yeah.
I'm old.
Just wait, man.
But wait,
yeah. Huh.
Tipsy
It's like
Pickle,
a Kerbal. Sorry, go ahead.
Tipsy Pickle just wrote, I got so addicted to Gas Station Simulator. Couldn't stop until I completely upgraded everything, and
No kidding. So that's what I keep reading. I mean, the press is pretty phenomenal. It must play pretty well. It must be pretty smooth game.
Oh, we got couples.
a lot of them. By the way. Look at these people sleeping together. I think 2 people in a group is the maximum still, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so I keep seeing this on the forums and in reviews. Why can we not have more than 1 bedroom in a suite?
You can.
You
Why
just
do I
won't have
keep-
enough guests to use it. I think some people get confused. They think you can only have 1 zone, but you can have as many sub-rooms to that zone. It's just some players assume it has to be a rigid 1 zone, 1 bathroom, and not realizing you can have sub-rooms and stairs and balconies, and really you can make a hotel room half the casino building.
Can you build a suite for me?
What size of suite? Like a really massive, maybe even 2-story suite?
With
Just the test it just shows that area as
bedroom.
like 1 big room, yeah. And then with like different sub-rooms.
Yeah, put the bed in a bedroom.
So technically, everything you need is a locked door, which has to be publicly accessible. So I need to make a hole there, and there.
Ideally, I'm really looking for Golden Nugget Spa Suite. So that would be a 1 bedroom with a. Are those gonna? Oh, I see.
I'm just doing random stuff.
So the Golden Nugget Spa Suite, highly recommended, by the way, is that it's a old school, like leather couches, opulent, like wooden decor with a wet bar, a big stairway in the living room going up to the 2nd floor where there's a big ass steam shower bathtub in there.
Yeah, try
that
and show off the
overlooks the living
staircase
room.
in there.
It overlooks the living room, and then the bathroom is upstairs. And then it's got a sauna. It's highly recommend.
And then I don't know, put the hot tub upstairs. I mean, like anything else, you'd be able to have a balcony, so we don't need to share it unless you want to build it out fully and make it look nice.
Not really.
I just want to see 2 bedrooms.
There you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bedrooms. There's still the arrow
So
for...
which one will they use?
Probably randomly.
And why can't we get more people in there? We already get 2
It's
people
more
in
to
the
do
room.
with the way guests like meet each other and that, and also the way they like try and use objects. The bigger the group, the harder it is for them to all use the same objects. It wouldn't be impossible. It just might confuse AI a bit if we're all trying to huddle on one object.
Okay, so is that zoned and working?
Yeah, well,
It's just using the bathroom.
it would require the bathroom, but that's technically all you need. Just one cell zoned somewhere behind a locked bedroom door, which is on the other side publicly accessible.
Okay, add the bathroom. And then get somebody in there. I want to see which. So yeah, why can't we already spawn the groups. Why can't we spawn?
I think as well when you did the like meetings when they like go up to each other, I think that was hard coded to 2. I mean, I just never updated it to have more than 2.
Yeah, can we should already have a list of all hotel rooms. It should be easy enough to get a list of rooms and their count of beds. And if a hotel has suites with multiple beds, allow occasional spawns of larger groups.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
it otherwise
As I
should
say,
just
it's not
work.
impossible.
It should just work. It's just a matter of it's probably hard coded to only spawning 2-man groups right now.
Yeah.
I know when I tested the group stuff though, I was spawning bigger groups. I was spawning like groups of 10, but I also was I was not really looking at hotel. I was making sure that they would like attempt to play at the same tables and sit by each other at slots and stuff. But really even without rooms that big, it'd be okay to spawn some bigger groups, and really we should. But with rooms that big, we could spawn some groups that also are going to be lodgers.
Specifically lodgers at those sizes.
Yeah, and not a ton, but truly right now it's just a hard-coded 2. It'd just be a matter of whenever that room updater runs, getting a dictionary of key being room occupancy max, value being count of rooms that have that max.
So basically when the room
And then just
finder,
that hard-coded 2. Yeah, exactly.
room
Then the
finder
hard-coded.
searches and it edits.
I know you're hating
Yeah, I'll
me,
put it on
but-
GitHub.
I know you're hating me. But
It's
that
writing
truly
about
is-
3
that's the
months
point.
worth of content at this point.
Well, most of this, but that's one that truly, it's pretty much if it works with 2, it'll work with 5. So it's just a matter of, like, it's very, to me, that's low-hanging fruit. And you already have, like, all the data is there. Right now, we just have a 2 in there instead of a variable or ideally, like it should run probably a weighted random, something like that. I mean, any place we have a hard-coded number and all the systems work, if that's a variable instead, to me, that's low-hanging fruit, right?
Yeah, but how many low-hanging fruits are there to pick?
All of
Yeah.
them. Just going back to
What happens when you have an infinite forest?
It's so funny how the tables have turned in the last like year and a half, 2 years. Michael used to be like, "Oh, we'll get this in, no problem." And now Michael's like the release management expert. and I love it.
Going back to the system, how rooms are, since it's technically possible to just lit one cell zoned and the whole room works. The debugging visuals for it look really nice, but never found a way to have it look nice.
Sorry, what? The what?
Showing somehow that all of this is actually one room. There's just no great way.
I think that's like the problem. So I keep seeing reviews mentioning that suites are not really suites and you can only have one bedroom. Part of that is probably just that we're never spawning guests like that. And if we've got it hard-coded to 2 and the group count is low, like really that shouldn't be hard-coded to begin with. We should be spawning groups, but never lodgers unless there actually are 2-bedroom accommodations.
Yeah. The lodger code already works like that. It will check before the spawning.
Okay, so
It's just increasing the number.
Does it spawn groups even if there aren't 2-bedroom?
For the other guest types, yeah. But not for lodgers specifically. So lodgers will pre-book a room, gamblers, entertainers, business will be groups on their groups.
Okay. Well, so it's even closer. So you're already doing that check. You just need to. So that's part of it, I think, is why we're seeing those reviews. Also, though, like you said, Joscha, it's like UI, UX wise, to me, that looks like it could be a bathroom from a distance. You know what I mean? It's a bunch of little rooms. I almost feel like if you hover over that zone, first off, it pisses me off that zone is. Can you like make that full? I know it works and I understand why, but can you like just zone the entire thing, please?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Auto save beat, yeah.
Okay, now if you zone another room in there, what happens? We get error.
Yep. Because at that point you have 2 rooms, 2 zones inside the same room.
Okay.
The only real solution, I think, is to have them assigned, but then that's going to be a lot of manual work.
No, here's what I'd like to do. So we already know what rooms are part of this hotel room. So let's literally color them in with zone overlay without a zone. Let's make them get that same hotel bedroom blue, maybe a little more opaque or whatever, but let's just automatically do that, but without creating a room, because that'll make it totally effing obvious. And like, I mean, it's just a UI thing, and it is understandable, especially when it's labeled hotel bedroom instead of like hotel room. Maybe we can change that in translations too. What do you think?
I think hotel room might be a bit too big, depending on how it's translated in other languages. And I think hotel bedroom or even hotel suite or something works fine.
Well, to me, it's either a room or a suite. It's always a hotel room or a hotel suite. And I don't know about other. I know English pretty good.
I can say
and that's bad grammar. I know pretty well.
I can only say for German, and in German it's also room, just room. No one ever uses like bedroom or something like that, or hotel room.
Well, and I would call
I've changed it.
Beds.
I've changed it already.
In the localization.
Yeah, I've just done it online. It'll wait until next time when I re-import it.
Okay, and are we in agreement? Let's color in all the. We already know what they are. It's truly just shipping to the tile map. The only tough part is going to be uncoloring them. But again, I actually think that's not that bad because we already fire off a hook when that zone changes. And so it should just be a matter of that zone keeps a list of any cells it's colored.
Yeah.
and then when the zone changes, it should zero. It should transparent them out and put it back.
I'd not do it with the zone changes, but rather if the rooms are built.
Same thing. Yeah, it's
On the sector validation job, basically. That's
Yes.
when I'll do all the checks.
yeah. When the room changes, the validation job runs too. So it's one and the same.
But yeah, that probably solves that issue.
And this is an example of where we gotta fix some basic like UX issue over doing like features and stuff.
Exactly.
Once we get to the weeds.
And that, to me, this isn't the lowest hanging fruit, but this is like the number of reviews I read that mention there's no such thing as suites, or truly, I think in the last 2 weeks, I've seen at least one or two that mention you can't have more than one bedroom. Like, even if this takes a full day, it is worth it AF. Yeah. I mean, even just seeing, it bugged me seeing the single zone tile. So like,
Are you gonna put it back?
you fellas know how to push buttons.
I didn't do it.
I'm actually gonna just completely remove it.
No, but I saw the smirk on you. I saw you got some joy out of it.
I thought
Obviously.
you was gonna say because I'm manager, I'm basically allowing him to do it.
I blame you. The buck stops there.
Gonna say,
give
could
you
use the drag to remove all of them at once. Yeah, like that.
And then he does those by hand.
Yeah.
Oops.
Oh. Use a
Um,
demolish tool, I think.
wrong tool.
Undo.
Right, we're launching next summer.
Yeah, right?
I wonder how long that would take. Probably rewriting everything.
You know, I remember we talked about it a long time ago. At the time, it would have been unfreaking believable, like probably 2-month project. Now, because you guys have the clone tool set up better, and everything is much more. There is no operation you can do that isn't valid to undo. And so, like, the clone tool data structure is there. At the time, the hardest part was like walls. It actually wouldn't be as hard now. It still would take easily a week. Like, it's not easy by any means, but it would be much, much easier than it would have been like 6-8 months ago. It would have been damn near impossible. We even talked through the technicals of it at one point, and after spending 2 hours doing that, we were like, if we can't figure out how to do it in 2 hours, then the code for this is gonna take 2 months.
To be fair, like the base technical system on how it works is actually rather simple. It's just a comment pattern. Implementing it. If you
Edge cases and
if you start implementing from the first line of code you write, all map changes, just using the comment pattern, then it's basically for free. Undo, redo, but you
That's
don't
the
do
magic
that.
of hindsight.
And
Yeah.
that's one of the downfalls of our development process too, to be quite honest. That's part of, like, you guys get a lot, you guys listening, you get a ton out of us in terms of, like, you guide the process, you guide the development. That said, the downside is that we can't predict the future, and so when we add stuff like being able to put wall objects anywhere on the wall, and that iteration means that, in many cases our original model for it wasn't taking into account that concept. And so, yeah, I mean, it really is. It's one downside of the agile iterative process. In my opinion, it outweighs it by far. The other positive thing is that we learn these lessons and we try to not make the same mistakes again in the future. Cool. We got. Wow, You guys started right on time today too, huh?
Well, yes.
Good stuff. Yeah, it is my birthday today. Let me see if we got any last questions, and then I think probably ready to call it.
So there's one about closing zones. Just trying to think, so it's like spot stuck if you the buffet. I think one thing people notice is if you close the cash registers, that someone still has like a buffet token. So, but it only lasts about an hour, I think. Then they'll still use the buffet straight afterwards, even if you close the cash registers. But...
Only if it's functional, right?
Yeah, but closing a cash register doesn't count it as dysfunctional. It just stops people using that cash register. Otherwise, you'd get a warning every time, like a staff.
But if there's no cash registers, they'll just bolt. So if we changed is available. So it's actually, what's that?
I was just going to say, do you mean when they go to the buffet, they check if any cash registers are open?
Yeah, so like if the player deletes all the cash registers and he still needs to pay, he's not going to be stuck in the zone. The guy's going to get out of there.
But that's not the issue.
What I'm saying is they pay to the buffet first, and then when the cash registers close, the player wants the people who have already paid to be kicked out.
So we just is available false everything in a closed zone. As long as everything's designed where
it would just mean you could open it and then immediately close it the moment guests start, like after they've paid for it. I think the real issue is that I
love that. Why not?
I think the real issue is that players can get comped free buffet access. So, like in the middle of the night, you might see a guest use it even if the cash register's shut. I think that's the real issue.
But again, if we just set is available to false, if we just set is available to false on everything in a closed zone, let's add it to the list. So part of the reason I do like the idea is one thing I noticed down on the strip is damn near every single casino has major construction going on. Sorry, Caesars. Their main entrance was totally walled off. Their normal, like, where you pull in around for valet, you walk in these big, magnificent doors and this huge atrium. It was all closed off under construction. And my understanding is, because of COVID shutdowns last year, that they didn't immediately, but as they started seeing things come back slowly, business starting to go back, I believe that what they're doing is basically taking advantage of the downtime so that they can, or the slow time to do any renovations they had planned that normally would cost them money because of lost business, now costing them less money. My point though is that you actually do see it very frequently where they literally build real full drywall around like the lobby in Caesars. They just built, and I will say it was a curved wall, but they built a wall around it, finished drywall and everything because they closed their lobby. They moved it somewhere temporarily, and they're apparently redoing their lobby and will reopen it at some point. The other part of me thinks I believe the only thing you'd have to do is change is available to false, as long as everything is set up to not allow guests to get stuck, which we pretty much know it is. I mean, I'm sure we've got some bugs still, but like we know that we've already dealt with the fact that we can't have guys get stuck at the buffet after they paid simply because there's no food left there. Like, I think most of those are handled, so it may actually be pretty straightforward. Yeah, I'd add it to the list.
Yeah, I've added it. I think the only other side is having lots of more schedules to manage to open and close them, but I guess it's not a huge number more.
I don't think it should be a schedulable. Well, is that what you want to be able to schedule it? Oh yeah, I see.
Well, I think it would get very tedious if you had to do it manually.
Well, see, I envisioned. I didn't read your whole comment. I envision it being something like more like what you said, where guy pays for the buffet and then you close it right away, and everybody throws all their shit on the floor and they're pissed. And I think that's cool.
Joshua, that's going to be a real negative environment effects of all those bins. Unless the plants have like a high enough range on them.
No bins then.
Does pressing delete work?
Yes, if I had it signed. It works in
I
editor.
thought it was by default.
It is, but I don't have it assigned for some reason in the build.
You've got custom bindings.
I also have beacon key. I don't know, in editor it works totally fine, but build I have it assigned to something different.
That's kind of weird. My bindings carry over between all my settings. They're the same. They're the same player press. Yes, it's the same player press. Yes, it should. Michael?
I think my settings changed between editor and build.
They definitely should. It's two completely different paths.
No, it's in player press, so it's not.
Two completely different paths. I have checked it. Yeah, at least on Windows, it's completely two different. It's both sadly still in the registry, but it's two different paths.
Okay, I bet it is a Windows thing because on OS X it's not in a registry. It ends up in a file, which is why we use player prefs. We're not going to debate that, but it's because we want to abstract away. That's what we pay Unity $200 a month for, to abstract shit away. That's all we pay them for. That and a render pipeline. I won't go down that rabbit hole. All right. Any other last questions, ideas, thoughts? I am here, Blue Wing Sniper. Thank you, CJ. I am ready to celebrate. I think that my children are going to take me bowling, and
ooh, nice.
Gonna probably have them fetch me some beers.
Nico, do you want to go bowling?
I do want to go bowling. I love bowling. And I haven't been bowling in quite a while.
Didn't you just go bowling a few weeks ago?
No.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so. I don't think I've been. I'd stopped bowling in the league because you had to, for one, you had to wear a mask, and I'm no issue with masks. It kind of sucks when you're doing physical activity. And two, they changed the bowling league, so instead of getting a pair of lanes, you had to bowl everything on one lane. And so a normal league would take like an hour and a half. If everybody's bowling, if all 6 of you are bowling on one lane, it's like the slowest freaking thing ever. And it was a Tuesday morning league, and I think I was the youngest guy there. The oldest guy was 96, and he had a 200 average too. Very good.
Yeah.
I hope at 96 I can knock down 2 pins.
You need one of those ramps they have at the bowling alley, and then you just push the ball down.
That's what the children will be using. Absolutely. My kid's oldest, she goes to a preschool. They have a little mini, that's actually full size. They have a 2-lane alley, maybe 4-lane. It's string pin setters. But she comes home and she's so excited to tell me about, she bowled today, and it's freaking sweet. Like, I cannot wait about 3 more years, get our own bowling ball, and gonna raise a pro bowler. I hope. All right. See if we got anything on Twitch.
Did you walk around the bedrooms yet?
No, I cannot.
Just thought before we go, get to see the rooms in first person.
Come on. Get the key.
Very polite of you to nod at the person behind the desk first.
Yeah.
Why is it so, can we get like a delay on that text? Like a fade or something? Oh, that's a great game. That is a great.
We need more quality.
Why is it such low quality?
Because TV screens are like, what, 192 by 2 something pixels?
Oh yeah.
The amount of memory it would take would be insane because of different frames.
Yeah, I forgot to. It looks fine from above. It's in first-person mode. You're pretty damn close, and yet most of this stuff looks pretty sweet.
Ah, I can look outside.
Yeah, I was gonna say, why'd you build the plot here? There are plots with better views.
I just took
I think
the
it's
biggest
the biggest plot.
one. Yeah.
Now I want to
The
be.
city looks quite nice from above, on a higher floor.
I don't really have windows up there, so I can't really show you.
All right, guys. Yeah, let's wrap it up. Richard, thank you. Colby Pup, thank you. Thank you. You have a bunch of ideas on the Steam thread. Yeah, I glanced through the forum today. I saw, as we said, Michael's only going to let us get so much in, but some of this stuff, we're going to get some of this in, especially like the UI UX type stuff. Thank you, Peter. Thank you, David S. VWFA. Thank you guys all. Yeah, we love you guys. Your support is, you're what makes this game, literally. I mean, probably 80% of what you see here is a direct result of these streams and your forums, forum posts. Bowling Alleys has been on the asset list for a while, and I'm probably not going to get it. But if somebody mods it, if you mod it and get it in there, we will we'll have it on the next stream. Bonus points for an animated model where pins fall down and the pin setter moves.
Pretty tough one to mod, to be fair. But
Actually, if somebody does that, you send me an email with your shirt size and everything, and we will get.
Thought you was gonna say mug sizing.
Cool. Hey T1, nice to see you. Hope all is well. We're just wrapping up here. I am. It's my birthday. I'm ready to go drink some beer, and
It's been
my kids
3
have
hours,
a
I
party
think.
set up. Yeah, it's been a long one. So cool.
To be fair,
all right.
we
Well,
haven't-
thank you everybody.
haven't streamed in a long
Yes.
time, so long one tonight.
Yeah.
You guys ready?
Yep.
Let's wrap her up.
As always, guys, thank you all for watching. If you've watched this live, be sure to leave a like. On YouTube at least. Follow us on Twitch, Twitter, wherever. We usually try to post before we stream. Best updates, to be fair, on Discord. Be sure to join us over there. And we are in the next stream.
Yeah, we'll be streaming about a month from now ish. We'll get we'll get a post up there, but it won't be nearly as long for the next until we stream again. As always, if you haven't left a review for the game, please do. It really helps. Tell your friends. Stream. If you do stream, tweet at us, and we'll retweet it and
We also
blast
usually
on our little reach.
we usually also love to join in. So if you don't want to have us join in and annoy you with help, probably don't. But we generally love to join in streams and help you out, or just watch. So
Yeah.
be sure to tweet at us. Or share on Discord, works too.
Absolutely. Awesome. Cool. Thank you guys all. Really do appreciate you. And until next time, keep building big casinos, keep pushing shit to the workshop. Love it.
Bye bye everyone.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye bye. Thank you.